was freezing, the first day of the season. Yeah, when it comes to retrieving, old Duke's on his game. A John boat, a couple of mojos. Shoot, they gon' know that we don't play. Well, somebody say amen. Let's give 'em black water baptism.
Welcome to the Simmons Sporting Goods All Things Hunting Podcast, brought to you by Realtree Outdoors, Browning Firearms, and Browning Ammo. Here's your hosts, Caleb Wallace, Cole Barthel, and Kyle Bearfield.
Guys, welcome back to the Simmons Sporting Goods All Things Hunting Podcast, episode 7. We welcome back Devin Singleton from Singleton Game Calls and my partner in crime here at Simmons Sporting Goods, Hunter Simmons. Glad y'all could be here. Kyle was supposed to make it, but me and Cole have been saying for a long time, Kyle's going to be late to his own funeral, I'm pretty sure.
That's true.
We don't blink when he's late.
We just don't know. We know. So if we said 6 o'clock this evening, we knew Kyle was going to be at least 30 minutes late.
At least. It's 6:30 right now, and we still don't know where he's
at. Don't know where he is. No,
ain't heard from him MIA.
To be honest with you, we don't care, so we're good.
We're good.
No,
we're good. So Devin just got back from a little public land spot and stalk mule deer hunt and found out just how out of shape he was. You want to share your journey with everybody?
Yeah, I've been since September. At least 3 days a week walking 3 miles with a 100-pound pack on my back, and then either if I did that in the afternoon, the next morning I'd run 3 miles, or if I did it that morning, I'd run 3 miles that evening.
How many pieces of pizza did you eat in between that?
Oh, I never stopped. I was just thinking, I was on this whole on Cole's kind of diet. You just kind of keep eating like you want to and just pray for the best.
That's it.
So.
Or if you put decoys out for a living, it don't matter.
Yeah, That's right.
So anyhow, I thought I was going to be in decent shape. I left my house last Thursday morning. I had a tag. Over the state I went to is over-the-counter tag. Very affordable rifle hunt. But when I left, I had the back of my truck completely full. I had 2 different tents. I had a lightweight tent, a big tent, a cot,
And when you live in Louisiana, we don't camp, right? Because the bugs are big as a chihuahua.
We go to the
there,
camp, but we don't camp. I can count on one hand how many times I've slept in a tent.
No,
you got to get out of there when the mosquitoes come out.
Yeah. So I left. Honestly, when I left Thursday morning, I didn't know for 100% where I was going. I had a 15-hour drive figured out. So got on OnX. I'd love to say I was pulled over on the side of the road when I was looking at OnX. I wasn't. But so anyhow, I figured out where I was going to go hunt, and I found a pretty good chunk of public land and got there Thursday night late. I pull up, and these guys are asleep in their tent, and they're coming out trying to figure out who's there, so I get set up. Anyhow, so Friday I'm feeling good, right? I'm excited. I'm feeling good. Well, I just strike out walking Friday morning. I've never been to this kind of country. I don't know what I'm looking for.
And you're probably the only redneck there.
Oh, yeah. Everybody else. I wake up at 5 o'clock.
Everybody's gone.
No, nobody else is even moving. No, so I make coffee. I sit around and drink coffee in my tent. And I'm not good at sitting still. So I was like, well, I guess.
Imagine that.
I was like, I guess I'm going to roll out. Everybody else is still asleep. So I crank up and I drive to this little spot I'd looked at, parked my truck, and ended up walking 10.5 miles that morning. You feel good walking 5 miles. Like 5 miles is nothing. But when that 5 miles equals 5 miles
you
back.
You got to get back. That's
right.
Right.
It's awful.
Did you see a deer on the first morning?
Oh, yeah.
So when you first saw your deer, was your trip almost just justified?
Hey, I was sitting there, honestly, no joke. I sat down, the sun was about to come up. I sat down, I crossed my legs, and I was sitting there, I was like, dang, this is pretty. I was praying a little bit, and next thing I know, I looked up and there was a deer. I was like, where did that thing come from? It's like 300 yards in front of me. And so that morning, I actually did learn accidentally what kind of habitat the deer were in, because I'm from around here, there's trees everywhere. You go up there, there's not a tree.
No, it's different for sure.
And so anyhow, I'm like, where does a deer hide in this? So when I walked back through that exact same spot, I blew through it. That was like 3/4 of a mile in. I blew through that, kept going, and I came back, and there was deer still in there. I was like, okay. I said, maybe I've learned something here.
Run into anybody yet?
No. got back to my truck, and there was 2 old men from West Virginia, 20-hour drive. Their truck was dead. They'd been sitting there for like 3 hours waiting on me to come out. And they were like, please tell us you got jumper cables. And I was like, yeah, I got a jump box. I jumped them off, and they talked to me forever. And everybody up there was hunting mule deer. I didn't see a single mule deer. All I'd seen was whitetail. I was starting to doubt that there were mule deer there. And so that night I was laying in my cot and got to looking, trying to find places that looked like where I'd found those deer. Because like at a mile in, footprints just kind of stopped. Nobody was walking further than that. Found the spot 4 miles in. I was like, that's me right there. I said, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna kill the granddaddy of them all. So I wake up 2:30 in the morning. My tent blows in on me. The wind starts blowing. And there's 2:30 in the morning. I have my alarm clock set for 3. I'm getting up at 3.
You woke up at 4, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I had my alarm clock set for 3. At 2:30, my tent collapses on me. I knew the wind was blowing, but I had a generator running with a space heater in it because it's cold. And
I'm picturing that. You know that scene off that movie Black Sheep where they're in that cabin and like the wind blows off and the bunk beds collapse and all.
I'm telling you, it wasn't far from that. So I get up and I try to fix my tent, and I tie my tent off to the rim of my truck. That comes into play a little while later when I try to leave.
And forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm backing up. I see my tent kind of falling over, and then I remember I didn't make it far. But anyhow, so I leave at 3. It's a 45-minute drive to where I was going. Nobody else was over there. I thought, pulled up, there's another guy there. Anyhow, walked in these 4 miles. 4 miles doesn't sound like far. I was walking 3 miles a day. You know, it's like extra miles, nothing to it. Man, them hills ain't no joke. So I get in there, and I got to thinking. I'm sitting there, sun's coming up. It's just beautiful deer starting to stand up. I look across from me, and I can see a house, and I can see 2 hunters. Like, I didn't think, literally, there was a house less than a mile away. I mean, I was all the way back in there, but I butted up to private land, and people were coming in hunting all that public from private. Oh. So those guys had a cupcake walk. So anyhow, I'm looking, and I see a really good whitetail. And I look back, and this guy is walking straight through all this bedding habitat. He's just walked off the hill, just walking straight through. There's deer. I'm not lying. It's just complete chaos. There's deer running everywhere. They're just running. Everywhere you look, there's deer. He's just blowing them all out, trying to go to this deer. And I gets in there, kind of ruins my morning. Again, I still don't know what I'm doing. I should have sat there and just kept, because all morning, once I started walking back towards the truck, deer were headed in there like crazy. And if I'd have just stayed there, I probably would have killed one. Yeah.
All whitetails?
Huh?
Any mule deer at this time?
I had not seen a single. Well, no, I saw one mule deer that was huge. Like, he was 1.17 miles away when I on-X'd him, and I could see his horns with my bare eyes. Didn't even need glass. He was gigantic. This guy blew him out too. But yeah, it's public land.
We need to go find that guy.
Hey, and I was, everything in me wants to get aggravated. I'm like, this is public land. This is what it's about. This, that, and other. So I finally got chilled out. And should I tell the story I told y'all a while ago?
Oh, you got to.
Oh, yeah.
Got to.
Oh,
so
goodness.
I hate to like take up all this time talking. Anyhow, I'm exhausted. I'm out of water. I got a 3-liter water pouch in my backpack. I've drank all of it, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet. I'm like, is it
in a
good?
bind?
Yeah. So I found a windmill. Had water. Went and filled it back up, and so I'm looking at that windmill. I'm like, I'll go down there and get water. This, that, and other. This looks like a good spot for deer to be. I'm gonna sit here a minute. Well, I was just standing there, and I look about 800 yards. A big whitetail walks across a hill. I've never hunted with a backpack on my back, period, in my life. And so I go to sit down, and I reach to grab my gun, and I have a camera tripod that my binoculars hook into. Somehow, it had knocked my safety off, and when I reached back there to grab my gun, my barrel was right here, my gun went off. And I'm telling you, all I could hear was, whee! It sounded like a million mosquitoes. And,
funny, but not funny, basically, what you're saying.
Scary.
On the right then scared me to death. Like, I was trying to figure out what happened. I knew my gun had went off, but I couldn't figure out why. And it just, like, completely disoriented me. And the deer's out there. He just stops, and he's looking down that way, like, not even concerned. And he walks off and just keeps walking. I can't hear. I got a headache at this point from that happening.
What were you shooting?
6.5 Creedmoor.
With a muzzle brake.
With a muzzle brake.
With a muzzle brake.
With a muzzle brake, right by my ear.
Brand new.
Brand new. And So I was like, I'm going to the truck. And I said, and you know, at this point I was gassed. I was like, I can't hunt tomorrow. There's no way my legs will let me hunt tomorrow. I'll come back in here Monday and kill one, and maybe I'll hire somebody to help me pack this thing out. Like, I can't figure out how I'm gonna pack this thing out. So if I killed one, but I'd seen some really good deer. Like, it was super promising. Can't wait to go back.
Well, what'd you do? So you didn't hunt on Sunday?
I was done. I was in Louisiana by Sunday.
No. You said you didn't hunt the one day. Okay.
He wasn't going to
I got
hunt
there on
Sunday.
Friday.
I got you.
Season opened Saturday. I went all by myself. I couldn't get anybody to go.
Saturday you hunted all day?
No, I hunted 5 hours and I was done.
What is it that distinguishes the best? A wanting to defy reason, disrupt industry, and captivate the imagination. To be better, you should look further, dream bigger. Aspire by Bandit. Superior.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Season didn't open until Saturday. And I went all by myself. If you go on these kind of trips, if you can find somebody, take them. Take them with you, if nothing else.
Maybe they'll pack in water and food.
Was that
If nothing else, just to help you get something out. I'm telling you, it became a legitimate fear/concern. Like, if I kill one, how am I going to get it out?
right? Did you kind of think twice why nobody went with you or anything?
No, I mean,
Just kind of
when you
take
live,
a
hey,
hint.
look,
Did you take a hint?
I mean, was it you or was it the trip?
You know,
I did both. I mean, look, I've been known to fly by the seat of my pants. And so anyhow, I'm walking out atop a hill, and I can see the truck. Like, it's cold. Again, where I was camping at, there was no cell phone service. So that morning I woke up, and it was cold, but every day it had been getting warm at daylight. And I assumed it was going to do the same thing, so I didn't pack a whole lot of clothes. I was going as light as I could. Well, the wind swapped out of the northwest at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And I was in bad
You're in a
shape.
bind.
Yeah, I was in a bind. Like, I need to get out. I need to get to my truck. And because I didn't have any clothes to put on. I didn't have anything dry. I mean, I was starting to get, I was soaking wet with sweat. And I was just starting to get really cold. And I topped the hill. Like, I had my Onyx on where my truck was. I mean, I was walking down a fence row. I knew exactly where my truck was, but I was watching that like a counter, man. I was
Trying to help you get a little closer.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'd make it. Yeah, when I first pulled it up, I was like 1.7 miles. I was like, okay, you can do that. I was like, when you get to 1.3 miles, you can take a break. So I'd walk to 1.3 miles, and I'd try to go a little bit further, and I'd take a break.
You on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I was like, all right, when you get to 1 mile, you can take a break because there's a big hill in between there. And I got to 1 mile. I was like, all right, start going down that hill, and you can take a break. You know, I was just trying to push myself a little further each time. Well, I topped the last hill where I could see the truck. I looked down at my phone. It's 0.52 miles. And basically, I let out a breath of just relief that I could see the truck. And when I did, I jumped this 2-year-old mule deer buck. I'm telling you, he is a cool looking deer for a 2-year-old deer. He's got 2 main beams. He's got a kicker point coming back. The other side.
That's the redneck
So
dog.
basically,
So
basically, everybody's saying, "I can't believe you shot that deer."
No, I don't care.
I
what
knew that
people
was
say.
coming. I knew that was
2-year-old deer.
Hey, he is. He's a 2-year-old deer. But I'm telling you, there's never been a more beautiful 2-year-old deer
Oh my god.
on the planet. He
Hey,
jumped-
They're all beautiful
you
too.
Hey,
You earned it.
hey, I'm telling you, I've never been more excited about a trophy in my. I mean, this is the definition of a true trophy in my mind.
Where's
I
his
had
horns
work
at right now?
In my freezer. I'm waiting on my guy to get back to. He's going to the taxidermist to get skull mounted.
Okay.
Which I don't do shoulder mounts.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I could. Hey, and I was so excited. Like, he jumped up. I've been practicing shooting out to like 600 and 700 yards. I was ready. 75 yards. Just shot him at 75 yards.
Drop him?
Killed him. Oh yeah, did I drop him? I'd have dropped him at 750.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
He'd have been bouncing out.
yeah. So anyhow, I kill it. I walk up, my adrenaline's just going crazy at this point. I walk up, literally take one picture of him laying on the ground. I start cutting his head off. Like, I'm telling you, I just kicked into overdrive, and I was like, "What are you doing? You didn't even get any pictures, this, that, and the other." And next thing, hey, if you ain't ever caped a deer out or skinned a deer on the ground,
It's a different
it's
ball
like,
game.
hey, all these guys were talking about. There was another guy at camp. He killed a deer. He had a little lightweight tarp in his backpack. He laid out, staked out, laid his meat on. I was laying mine in dirt. I done got so mad. Hey, I done got so mad. Hey, I was furious because I had them bags that you put it in. I've never used those in my life. I was trying to get that. I was holding a bag with my teeth, trying to pull it out, stick it in.
5 miles from the truck, ready to get a house.
Well, no, at this point, I'm 0.52 from the truck. That's why I shot.
What time was this that you shot?
Yeah. 11.
Okay,
right,
so you had
like
plenty of
11:02.
light left. You had plenty of light
Oh,
left.
it was just getting started. But the wind had kicked up like 25 miles an hour. In my head, I'm like, there's no way my tent's standing. So,
what's tied to the truck?
Like, I was honestly going to go back and sleep and then go spike camp in. I was going to walk in about 3 miles Sunday night and spike camp and then wake up Monday morning be cold. Yeah, I had a lightweight tent. And I was going to walk in Monday morning and hunt. You know, and only have a mile in, and then try that way I'd have a place to haul meat back to, put it inside my tent and everything else. Like, I already had it all planned out. When this sucker jumped up, like, I pulled up and I looked at him, and I had thoughts, like, for just a second. Like,
he thought Cole is going to chastise the hell out of me for shooting this 2-year-old
deer. Cole never
deer.
come through my mind.
And then the redneck kicked in.
Yeah, it did. Like, it's just, there was something in me, like, man, it's still early on in this hunt. Like, we just got started. And my wife didn't even know when I was coming home. We didn't know. I was going to hunt until I felt like coming home. I was like, we're still early in this, and I just saw some huge deer. Bam! And that was it. It's like, that thought didn't finish.
The truck was in the top of the crosshair.
Literally, I could almost see the truck. He was right here, and the truck was right here. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, dang, I need to drag this thing out of the way where people can't see me from the truck. So I drag it out. Like, and again,
did other people see you shoot or hear you shoot or anything?
You could have just laid across the truck.
Yeah, there was guys sitting 200 yards from the truck. And
hunting?
Yeah. So anyhow, I go I quarter this thing out.
Where I'd be.
Yeah, they had sense.
Smart.
And
sit on the ice chest.
Yeah. So I quartered this thing out. One thing you don't do is pack it all out at once. But I know me. Don't nobody know me like I know me. I knew if I ever made it back to my truck, I wasn't coming back. I knew it. I was like, if I make it to my truck, I'm not coming back.
If you make it was the key word, yeah.
And so I loaded that sucker up. I weighed my pack when I got home. My pack was 180 pounds. And I get it on.
Have 15 little Debbies in there? Or what you care?
No, it's all horns, man. 100 of that was horns.
We're going to have to show everybody.
Yeah, we'll put up a little picture.
Just imagine a 2-year-old and he looks
I almost brought him
exactly the way he sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, he was cool, though. He had 2 main beams, man. And both of them
he was going to be a stud at 5.
At
5, he was going to be a stud.
Swear, I looked at him, I said, in 2 or 3 years, I said, this thing would have been a man. Don't matter no more, though. I'm telling you, may he rest in peace.
Hey, ask anybody else at this table who's got a mule deer in their house.
Well,
maybe Hunter does. Okay.
I wasn't going to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Hunter. But anyhow, so I look like an idiot. I got this pack loaded down. I've never packed out an animal. So I got this thing packed up.
Not the first time you look like an idiot. So you
I'm okay with it. And so I got him packed up, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like it'll tote. And so I go to pick this thing up. I can't even pick it up. So I sit down on my butt on the ground, and I like fish my way into this pack, and I get it off.
I can see these guys at 200 yards.
I'm sorry, I about knocked the table over. And I get laid way back, like I'm in a recliner, and I get this thing buckled because I got a little gut, you know. Yeah. So I get my waist belt buckled, and I try to sit up, and I can't sit up. Like I can't move. So I roll over on my side.
You're like one of roly-polies when you turn them over and they got your legs kicking up in the air.
So I rolled over to my side, and I finally get to my belly and get on all fours, and I get up. I'm telling you, about killed myself. And I was like, this is an awful idea. So I'm using my rifle as like a walking pole to get stood
It's
up.
unloaded, though.
Unloaded.
It's unloaded.
Unloaded at this point.
I took all the bullets out of it at this point. I was like, I'm done shooting. I had a doe tag, too. And I was like, there ain't a doe.
She's safe.
There ain't a doe in this state that's, not safe unless she's standing beside my tent when I get back. And so anyhow, I'm packing it out. I can walk literally maybe 50 yards and I have to stop and bend over. And I'm just like gassed. And where I shot this deer at's on top of this hill. I got to go down almost 600 feet in elevation and up almost 500 feet to the truck. So it was awful. I mean, it was like, it was just a bad deal. So I make it to the bottom of the hill. I stop and I look to my right, and there's a hunter sitting over there about 200 yards from me, like looking
He
at
just
me.
shaking his head.
Hey, looking at me through binoculars, like, what's he got?
What is this Louisiana boy
Yeah.
doing?
And he's trying to figure me
Then
out.
you see him laughing and just put it
Yeah,
down.
so he starts
He's the reason why we don't kill big deer.
Yeah, so he starts putting this stuff up.
Ruined his hunt.
and is going to start walking to me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to this guy.
He's gonna take off.
I mean, if anybody knows me, they know I'm the most sociable guy ever. But
I
I'm
would
like,
agree.
I'm too exhausted to talk to this guy. I don't want to talk to him about this deer. Like, all I want to do, like, in my head, I kept telling myself, because I forgot all my food that morning. Because I pulled up and there was another guy there. I was like, I got to get rolling. Like, it was like public land duck hunting. My public land duck hunter, my public land duck hunter kicked in. I said, I got to be rolling like now. So,
He was laid up in the truck.
Nobody's racing to kill a 5-point mule deer.
no, he's from
He was a
Colorado.
3-point, wasn't it? 3 or
It's
5?
five.
All
He
right,
said
I
it
thought
was
They,
5 point.
I think they call him they would call him a 2x3.
that's
Non-typical at that.
Yeah,
A
non-typical.
non-typical. There ain't many people can say they got a non-typical 2x3.
2x3.
It's
That's
gonna
right.
be a stud.
Yeah, it would
Was
be.
gonna be a
No,
stud.
we ain't worried about that no more though. I mean, you might as well quit saying it.
Okay.
I mean,
Ain't gonna get
it
on.
don't matter
He
anymore.
knows how to do that.
And so anyhow, so this guy starts walking to me, and the whole time I'm walking back before I even kill the deer, I'm like, I got a big red in my ice chest, a big red drink, and I got a
I don't
nut.
think I drank one since I was 6 years old.
And a nutmeg candy bar. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, you ain't
Like a
been
mellow yellow.
I'm not sponsored by Big Red, but if they want to, they can. 'Cause I do think they're delicious. But anyhow, so I make it back and I crack that thing open and I open up my ice chest and I had a Red Bull too. So I mean that really kicked it up.
Hang on, let's go back a little bit. How'd you get the pack off?
Oh,
Did you have to lay on your back like a tortoise and
I'm
get out
telling
of
you,
it?
that became another issue. So this guy's walking up the hill. I'm starting to panic. Like I almost felt
Now,
like,
did you not want him to see
Like,
the
if
deer, or did you just not want to
No
talk
doubt
to
he
him?
didn't want him to see the
I
deer.
honestly
No
didn't care
doubt.
if he saw the deer. I promise. I promise you, there ain't one bit of shame in that deer. I'm as proud of that deer.
Well,
as
you
any
worked
deer I've
hard
ever
for
shot.
him, that's right.
Yeah, and I just I know how introverts feel now. Like I didn't want to talk to this guy. I just wanted to leave.
And you were always that guy that was coming to talk to
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah, I was like the guy. I'd have went down there. I'd have dang near sprinted down there to help somebody get one out before I walked that far. I wouldn't have then. I'd have like not even looked over there at him. He could have tried to flag me down. He'd have to shoot me to get my attention. But anyhow, so I'm to the truck and I'm trying to get my backpack off. I can't even get it off. So I have to like sit on my tailgate, roll over on my side, fall on my side, and like fish myself out of like unloosen all
I
my
knew that
straps.
was you missed that part. I knew that was the good
I had
part.
to unloosen my straps as far as they go and like fish myself out of my backpack, and and then like I mean it's all I could do to get my backpack picked up and get it on top of the deck box under my camper shell. And man, this guy's like at 100 yards by now.
He's coming
And-
to. Is there anybody else in the parking lot?
Oh yeah, there's trucks everywhere, but there's nobody else. And like this gate's got like
Everybody
a
else done
come along on it.
passed that deer, right?
Oh yeah, they done.
Yeah, they're hunting.
They
for
let
big
that deer
mature,
go, didn't they?
Yeah, trophies. Yeah,
Good for them, you know. I mean, I'm
Proud of him.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I
I'm
mean,
going home to see my family. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go.
And so anyhow, I left the gate down and everything. Like you pull up and there's a gate, you let it open. And I was like, that guy's 100 yards. He's about to be here at this gate. I jumped in the truck and I tore out. I drove about 200 yards down the road and got out and got my Big Red and my candy bar. And I hammered that thing. Like I drank it so fast. Like, I mean, my stomach felt, because I was thirsty.
It was bubbling up on you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like
Still
I was
fizzing.
burping and everything else. And, but man, I'm not lying to you. I can't wait to go back next year. Like, it
Yeah.
can't. And little did I know, I was halfway home. I think I could have turned around and bought another tag and kept hunting. And it's a good thing I didn't know that because I'm just dumb enough that I
To
would
go back for punishment? Yeah.
Yeah, that I would have. But I can't wait to go back next year. I'm taking applications. If anybody wants to go, I'm going to need to.
You're going to have a strong back and a weak mind.
Yeah, 100%.
You
And
can have my spot, Cole.
Yeah,
Have
sure.
my
I
spot.
told him I wanted to go.
he's going.
Well, and going, coming from around here and going out west, I went and killed my first mule deer. You just don't, we think, I mean, they're hiding in thickets and all that kind of, we're used to, I mean, you'll be driving along and circle maybe 50 yards. We're not used to that, and it's just different hunting.
Did you kill a good one?
He was not a 2-year-old. You can put it that way.
Did he?
I may have seen it. I may have seen
Yeah, he
it.
went 195.
Ooh-wee. Where were you
He was
at?
I went.
At the
I was
desert
with-
rat in Utah.
Yeah, so I went. I was hunting with a guide, and
They'd been feeding this sucker since he was a baby, though. I mean,
Well,
they
possibly.
had his name and everything.
well, he wasn't quite changing the tree, but we've been hunting the same deer this guy had seen him, and we'd been on the same mountain for 4 days solid. And we hiked to one side, hiked to the other, and hiked to the other, and we hunted. And I was like, man, we need to go somewhere. We ain't seen nothing. And then all of a sudden, we're leaving, and we look out, and it's almost dark. I mean, it's getting light. And he pulls out a spot and scope. He goes, there he is. And I looked through it, and I'm like, there he is.
That's him.
Ain't no doubt about it.
He
That's
said, now,
him.
and look, I'm not in great shape, but I'm also from Louisiana. You go up to Utah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Area, so this dude's in super good shape, and he's like, hey, we're going to have to run. He's about 1,000 yards. We're going to have to run up this mountain. And I said, sure, let's do it. So we take off running, and I'm talking about he's getting in, and we get about
better shape than you are.
just a hair, So we get about halfway up.
Now, Hunter's in better shape. It's round.
Yes,
I mean,
right.
that guy's straight.
If we were going downhill, I could have rolled, and I probably have beat him. But so we get about halfway, and I'm going, it's getting that squeal, and he turns around, and looks at me, and goes, "Hey, I'm gonna pee while you trying to catch your breath." He's not even out of breath. I'm like, just waving him on. Finally, about he gives me like 20 seconds, so we take off again, and then we get about 400 yards away from the steer. He just throws down. And he said, "Shoot him." So I throw down, and I try to, and I'm still. I'm trying to get it.
Fogging up the scope, man.
Yeah, I'm doing this, and I grab my pack and I put it underneath, and I finally get steady. And
That just shows I'm a better
Zero
stalker.
breathing control at
I'm a
that
better
point.
stalker than you are. I got in way closer range on
100%. Well,
It just shows you.
it probably. So anyway, I finally
two-year-old.
Get steady and get locked in, and I shoot him, and he just disappears from the scope. I'm freaking at this point. I'm like, God! So I put another one in there, and I get back on him, and he's like, he's down. You got him. So I hit him a little high, and I hit him right up in here, and it hit his backbone, and he just went down like a sack of potatoes.
That's good.
I hadn't been more pumped up or anything. I was jacked up.
Oh, I bet you were. How long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
I'm telling you, that deer I shot might well have been that big.
Oh man, I mean,
Might well be.
We got to
Might
show
as well
that
be.
picture. They think that we got to show that picture. I don't even know if you get
I
that.
went prairie dog hunting.
that's
You
way more
ride
fun.
in the
That's
truck.
right.
You shoot them out of the window of the truck, which I'm really good at, and then.
I will.
If you do get out of the truck, you set you like shooting table, like fold out chair with a table and a bipod and all. You just set it right beside the truck.
And you got a big red in the truck. You can go get it.
I didn't drink any big. I drank some stuff. I didn't drink any big red.
I will give it to. I've been to Idaho and Colorado, and that air will get you.
Man,
Even
it's-
if you're ready, man.
and really, it don't
still
matter
gets you.
how good a shape you are. Your body
Coming
just
from
can't
down
handle
here,
that.
coming down here in the air pressure, the specific pressure we breathe, and going up there, it's not.
If your body's in good enough shape, your lungs ain't good enough.
I was
You're
talking
right.
to those guys up there. He said that down there, that air basically forces in your lungs. You don't even have to try to breathe. Up
Yeah.
here, you gotta work for it.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's crazy.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and we come back. We got duck season coming up. We'll talk a little waterfowl, and be right back.
Come by Simmons Sporting Goods and check out the new models of the X-Bolt rifle from Browning. The best there is. Now back to the Simmons Sporting Goods All Things Hunting Podcast.
Welcome back. We just got through listening to Devin's journey on a public land mule deer / whitetail monster mule deer / whitetail hunt. I will say though, I've been out there hunting if you can, and that public man, I mess with him a lot, but we're good friends. But it is a feat to go out and do that. That's a special thing. It's especially to take the mindset of going by yourself and doing all that. So I give it to him on that. No, it was not a very big deer, but I will admit in the
He's not
group
gonna let that go.
in the group text, I was the only one that didn't hate on him in the group text. There was 5 of us in it, and everybody else was hating.
That's how
on
you
him.
know it's your good friends is when you hate on them.
And they were.
I don't think I did. I know.
But Hunter most definitely.
Oh, I
did.
most definitely did.
But
Absolutely.
that's just what he is. He's just immature like that.
But I give it to him though. I really do, because I remember 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month before he asked if I wanted to go or whoever, and I remember saying, "Man, that for him to go by himself, I respect the heck out of that."
And if you ever get a chance to go out west and do that kind of hunting, I mean, do it.
I would
It's
recommend
cool.
it to absolutely anybody. Don't be scared to go by yourself.
All right, hold up. Turn that mic off.
You want me to get rid of this thing?
No, we're good. We can just me and Devin share one.
We've had a little hiccup.
We got a hiccup. Kyle, you're going to have to edit this.
Nah, we'll be all right. We can keep going. Hey, we're real.
This one right here.
We're real. You can leave it. You can leave it. We're good.
All right. Carry on. But yeah, don't let going by yourself or anything like that. If I've learned anything in anything I do, I will kind of fly by the seat of my pants. But some of the absolute best memories I've had have just been going out and putting stuff together. We're lucky we live in a country that we have like millions of acres of public land that you can go chase these things. I bought this tag over the counter. You don't have to apply for it. You just buy it and go. And you know, I mean, I'm sure I'll have guys go with me next year. I hope I will. But
They have a whole list.
yeah, I hope so. I'm telling you,
I'm strapping a GoPro.
it's
Yeah, no doubt.
Follow you around.
But honestly, the more the merrier. It's public land. You know, go out there, have a good time.
We just ain't gonna sit
Don't
behind
know.
your backpack.
No, I'm telling you,
I was just
I'll
fixing to say,
walk.
maybe
I'll make.
bulletproof vest.
I promise you.
Maybe a bad idea.
Look, you ain't got to worry about it more because that will never happen again. I learned a valuable lesson.
Did anybody?
Right there.
Nobody
Some
asked you.
some of the funnest hunts I've ever been on and had the most, best time. You ain't killed nothing. Just going and being
We've
out
had
there.
some of those.
Plenty of them. Me and Caleb had plenty of
Duck
them.
season's coming up. Me and Hunter have come out of there with 2 blackjacks before and
Hey,
had
had
just
ball.
had a freaking blast.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, at any time, look, you'll never. What Maddie said something here a while back. You got to play to win.
Got to be present to win.
Yeah, and if you ever get a chance to go, I just always default to go.
Go.
You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, to hunt or not.
Well, I mean, have you ever
Yeah, absolutely.
been at the camp or been at the house and you slept in and you first thing when you wake up that morning you're like, dang, I should have went.
You don't get but so
Yeah.
many wake ups.
Exactly, 100%. To see that sunrise and you think to yourself, man, I should have sat in that deer stand. Man, I should have went hunting with them this morning. And you got to think that before you go to bed or when that alarm goes off. You're like, I need to just go.
Yeah,
Just
because
need to
you'll
go.
never see whatever happens that day. You'll never see it again. Whatever that
Good,
day
bad,
happens,
ugly, whatever.
Yep.
It's gone.
But like Caleb did mention, we're getting about a week away from duck season. Maybe a little closer than that. But
We're close from that. We're 3 days away.
where we at in North Louisiana is, man, what you hope for, what everybody hopes for is weather. We struggled with weather. Faced a hurricane a couple weeks ago or a month ago, 2 months ago, and
A couple of them.
had plenty of water then, but farmers didn't have the crops out of the field, so we needed water to get out of there. Nobody could board up anything, and finally it's dried up really good. All the farmers are happy as can be getting all the crops out.
Duck hunters aren't happy.
Not super happy, but hey, they got to make their money first.
This part of the
Right.
world, North Louisiana, South Arkansas, duck hunters aren't happy. North Arkansas, South Louisiana, they are wearing the ducks out in South
Coastal
Louisiana.
Yeah.
zones hammering them right.
They
Absolutely.
are just absolutely tearing them up.
And we had a lot of ducks 10 days ago. We did, and man, we've been dealing with the 70s, 50s at night, 70s, upper
That's
70s a
tough.
day. And
Louisiana weather, man. It's just winter
we still
time
got
in the
mosquitoes,
morning,
and it's
summertime
Thanksgiving
heat.
almost.
Speaking of mosquitoes, Devin, you missed it. You were getting geared up for your mule deer hunt. We went and shot some specks.
Oh,
when
gosh.
deer season started, and Hunter here was in charge of bringing the mosquito spray. And I'm gonna tell you,
Hang on. I was not in
I
charge.
You don't
He
put
is
Hunter in
ever
charge.
in
I
charge.
specifically
Hey,
told his dad the night before. I said, if we don't have mosquito spray, it will be hard to sit
Listen,
in that blind.
I was
We
not in
did
charge.
not
I just
have
told y'all I was the
mosquito
one
spray.
that came closest to bringing it. You didn't bring none. You didn't bring none.
Well,
I
I
was not
told
in
him
charge.
he
Me
either.
and Cole looked like we were in a fist fight. We were sitting there swatting each other with our hats.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, how long have you lived in Louisiana?
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, ain't none of
You're right. You're right.
I ain't got no
I ain't
excuse.
on nobody's side. I'm just saying
that if
it
Hunter's supposed to
stays
bring
in
the
my
mosquito
truck.
spray, you need to bring
Where
I can
this
tell you
where
this.
this all came to is I said, man, guys, I went in there and I grabbed all my stuff and I grabbed my can of mosquito spray and I left it on the counter. That's what it all went to. They said, well, it's your fault.
And then we should.
That really made me want to just. knock
That
him
made
over
you
the
really
head with
want you
something.
really
Yeah.
want to hit him.
Yes,
Hit
no
him
doubt.
then.
We had a really good hunt. I mean, they were working. It was gray and they weren't really working real
a
well.
little
But we had a
cloudy.
ton of them.
Scratched out 9 geese.
That's right.
Yeah, y'all shooting 30-06s out of
10
them.
gauge.
Hey,
10
hey,
gauge.
we tried to shoot 7 mag, but it
we
didn't.
shoot a brown and gold 10 gauge. Hunter and I do, and have for
And
15
always will.
years, and always will. Cole shows up with his 12 gauge.
He said, hey, let me shoot
Yeah,
one
but
of
the
them.
sad thing is, I shoot better than all of them, but it.
Hey, Cole said,
Not without a gauge.
we asked him, we're like, hey, we got a couple extra 10 gauges. You want 10 gauges? No, I'm good with 12. No, I'm good. I'm good. we shot a couple volleys, killed some geese, 80, 100 yards. Hey, y'all, give me that 10 gauge down there.
And I will say,
I
with
just
the
felt
10
left
gauge,
out. That was it. I just felt I ain't never shot a Browning 10 gauge.
if
I
everybody
just
in the
felt
blind
left
shooting a
out.
10 gauge, you better have an extra because one of them's gonna break. It ain't no doubt about it. You always gotta have an extra. Either somebody's gonna want to shoot one because y'all are killing all the
Four
birds,
of
or
us
one's
in the
gonna break.
blind, and there's 7 10 gauges.
That's right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, there's gun cases laying down the levee. I'm like,
Hey, we ain't gonna be without guns. I mean,
but I knew that.
working a
'cause
sporting goods store. I mean, which
Sporting goods store.
Jeff, so I knew that. He carried 2 at least.
yeah.
To every spot
That's
he
kind of
goes
like
to.
going there without mosquito dope. You run a sporting goods store, you're there every day. It ain't no sense in it.
All you gotta do is grab it on the way out.
We got 7 10 gauges, but not a can of mosquito dope between us.
But yeah, like Hunter said, and geese didn't want to work, didn't want to hear a call, I think we could have left the decoys in the box.
Absolutely.
In the truck
No, we
and
didn't have a
put
decoy.
them out, but,
Which is crazy. They're skittish of the decoys this early in the season, but when it's gray like that, they don't want nothing. You know, they just want you. Sometimes
Well, they can
you gotta
see
let them
it all.
come.
You can't. I mean, you're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
trick them. They can just see it. They know a trick.
And we weren't hit as good as we'd liked, and we hadn't. But
Have you seen
cloudy, no
Caleb's-
wind
It's
days.
Still killed 9.
hard
You
to
can't
hide.
gripe about
You're
that.
hard to
You
hide that noggin right there.
know?
you can put enough real tree camo on his head to hide it.
You're right
It looks
there.
like a pop-up blind when you get it all camoed up, but we're good.
But you know, I'm excited for duck season, man. That's just some of my favorite times, especially being in the store and seeing people come through and people's first time hunting, and people come from all over the country. Because when we're right here in the Delta, we get people from all over the country to come in, just kind of like you go on that mule deer hunt.
It's
We
a
got
staple to my hunting season.
Absolutely.
I mean, before I even started hanging out here, before y'all tried to make me go to work here and try to keep me here full time, but I mean, it's like a staple of my hunting season's coming through here, getting that case of shells and.
well, and just finding out what everybody else is killing. I enjoy seeing that, man. It's just, and we're right here in the Delta. We just kind of like you going out west. Those people coming here, you know, they're coming here and saying, you know, same thing about duck hunting. That's just cool to see those first experiences.
And this ain't nothing new to have this. We always struggle this first split.
Oh, yeah.
We know it. We kill them early on that first weekend, but hey, unless we got crazy weather, that second
It's
split is
always
always
hot.
better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, pushy ducks can come in here without
And-
weather.
Overnight.
And we live and die by teal a lot of times, and you know they can
You
be
don't
here
know,
tonight.
yeah.
You
You know,
never
but-
know.
It was 2 or 3 years ago, opening day.
In the field.
First split. Opening day, first split. I pulled out of my driveway. It was 78 degrees at 5 o'clock that morning. I called my brother. I said, "This is stupid. This is absolutely stupid." The wire away. He's like, "I'm telling you, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good." Well, we're out there just like we're talking about goose hunting, putting out decoys, swatting mosquitoes, spraying mosquito spray. At 8 o'clock, we had our 24 ducks and almost all of our mallards. I mean, we're out there sweating and
I can tell you, there's going to be a lot of people saying, "Hey, we've killed them in mosquitoes before," and that's the truth. I'm
Absolutely.
just saying that's not the norm. I think we probably all have, but most of the time we want to get negative with it.
Hey,
I'm guilty of it.
Some of my best days were cloudy and hot. I mean, you know, you don't ever know if they want to be in there and they're here, and you better hunt while they're here.
Right.
And it's kind of like Devin said. If you don't go because it's 78 degrees, well, guess what? You ain't gonna get that day back.
That's
You're right.
Opening day this year is November 21st of 2020. Once November 21st of 2020 is gone, it's gone. It don't matter what the temperature was.
Hey, the way 2020's been going, it may be 105 degrees. We don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
But we do need some rain. I will say that. We after
Absolutely.
the hurricane, we struggle with
With rain.
rain.
you
And I think
find-
that's one you hear. Everybody who's got ducks has got big
Yeah,
water.
You can find
Absolutely.
big bodies of water right now. You got 'em.
But
You
the-
know, I know this won't be. I don't know when this will actually air, but if you got water, you can look for the water.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if you just got one field flooded up and you ain't got no fields around you, you still, what I've seen, you need big bodies of water close to you, not just one little field flooded up. or
You gotta have
whatever.
somewhere that they're holding, you know, and
And they're not having to feed a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I could just come back through. I came through Nebraska and I drove down the Platte River. I drove down the north channel of the Platte River for almost 70 miles, maybe even a little more. No, more than that. Probably getting close to 100 miles. And we've got a lot to look forward to. I'll say that. There's a bunch of ducks holed up right there, and whenever it starts, you know, they get snow and this, that, and the other. I mean, Missouri, and then here's their next stop. You know, depending on what flyway they bump down. But there is a ton of ducks. sitting
y'all
right there.
tell me this too. I mean, I hear this from a lot of guys north. The cold don't bother them as much as the snow. You know, when they get that, it can be
Ice.
15 degrees in the ice, they don't really care about that as much as when you get that snow and they can't actually get to the food, then you got that
Something
problem.
got to cover up. Something
That's
got to
right.
cover up that food where they can't get to.
But historically, when we have dry, warm winters down here, historically they have huge snows north.
Right.
All right. So Colorado, I was in North Dakota a couple weeks duck hunting. It never got above freezing the whole time I was there. Colorado got a huge snowstorm. North Dakota got snow, and this was in October, end of October. Yeah, end of October I went. So they're already getting snow up there. Going snow skiing in a couple weeks. They've already got snow on most of the mountains to go snow skiing.
Yeah.
So they've already got a lot of snow up there. So history looks like it's going to repeat itself. You know, the big, huge storm in Iowa this year that laid like 10 million acres of corn over.
Right.
That's going to be a problem for here until they get snow there. But it's already starting to happen. So typically, like y'all said, I wouldn't let the dry, warm weather worry me because typically that creates systems that are conducive to snow up north. You know, historically looking back. So I mean, it could be, some of our best years we ever had at the least we were in were warmish years.
Yeah.
And we just absolutely smoked them.
Now, do y'all think that, you know, it's a little different this year? You know, Canada didn't allow any hunters in up there at all.
Yeah, from the
so, I
United
mean,
States.
do y'all think that that's going to affect the birds that are coming in? I guess they're probably not putting enough of a dent in them to matter.
It can't hurt. I mean, it can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
All
it's
I
at
would
least
say.
some more ducks. I mean, because, you know, if all the U.S. hunters that go up there.
More than
which
anything, it may
thousands
not
and
have
thousands,
educated a lot of
Yeah,
younger
you know,
birds.
it's
And
Yeah.
If,
That's what I'm thinking. They didn't see much, you know.
I
And
mean,
it's,
we'll see. I don't know.
Situations like if Devin hadn't shot that 2-year-old mule deer in 3 years, somebody'd have there'd be another
maybe
opportunity
another. That's right.
to kill a 5-year-old.
Maybe some more
mule deer.
mountains
Hey, as
coming
close as he was to the parking lot, he wasn't making it.
he
wasn't
had already
making
picked a
it.
bad
Yeah.
spot.
Oh yeah, look.
You should have just shot a doe.
And packed her out.
If I'm going back next year, I need to
Go
know them
leave 'em
deer.
alone now,
I need
leave
to
'em
know
alone.
them
I
deer are
promise
going
you.
to be there.
Look, I
That
left
deer ain't
all
gonna
the
be
big
there.
All the big ones, I left them for you.
Yeah.
I left all them.
They're
You
there.
ought to be.
That was good
thinking.
genetics, you know.
We'll see.
And
Come by Simmons Sporting Goods and check out the new A5 semi-auto shotguns from Browning, the best there is. Now back to the Simmons Sporting Goods All Things Hunting podcast.
so anyhow,
But I mean, y'all think that? I mean, it can't hurt.
I don't know.
Right?
There were so many hunters in North Dakota. I hate to place my thought process in other hunters because you just
Yeah.
don't know and what other people are doing. Man, when we were in North Dakota, you couldn't hunt. I mean, there were so many people up there. All the ground was leased up, or I'm sorry, not leased up, posted. And there, man, we saw a lot of people. I mean, really did. And there was a lot of people there before me, and there's been a lot of people there since. So it's hard to say.
And you think about, we don't have any football to speak of. We don't have, people aren't going on vacation. I mean, people, and we've seen that in here. People are hunting, and they're buying their ammo. And I mean,
Heck yeah.
we're low on everything because people are hunting. So I mean, I think that's good.
Which is the coolest
It's a great
thing. Watching people turn back to self-sufficiency
Heck yeah.
from a
100%.
hunter standpoint is a really cool thing because hunting, honestly, the next generation of hunters, all the research you see is on big time on the decline.
Yep.
Because their studies show that bringing a kid into hunting isn't enough. You need to bring an adult into hunting who will then again bring another adult to up hunters, you know, and as public land duck hunters, this and they were like, oh, that last thing we need is hunters. But to maintain all this ground and buy more and everything else, you got to have people buying licenses.
When you got, that's right.
So it
That's exactly
been,
right.
I mean, and it goes back to, and I got to check myself too. I mean, honestly, that's a selfish mindset to think, well, there's too many hunters. You know, we got to think preservation for a couple generations from now. We need all the hunters we can get.
But and we also all four make a living by
Yeah.
other people hunting.
Absolutely.
That's right.
We all four support our family by that. So I mean,
100%.
you kind of give and take there. So
When we had a guy come in here today, for instance, he was buying a new rifle, didn't know much about it. We walked him all through it, and then he said, "Man, that's my first gun. I've never even owned a rifle."
Man, that's awesome.
good.
And he said, "I said, well, what got you into it?" He said, "Well, my son went hunting with. He didn't even go hunting. He went and shot some guns with my uncle, and he loved it. And he said he's never been into. He don't play sports. He's one of those kind of play on his phone kind of kids, and he shot guns and he loved it. And he said it's something that he's into. So I'm in. Whatever
Good.
he's."
yeah, that's
know,
what you
and-
want to hear about.
And he enjoys it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's nothing cooler than hearing people, I'm adventurous soul. I'll go, this trip cruising, but there's nothing cooler than hearing somebody else fired up and talking about
Absolutely.
their first experience. And I challenge everybody to kind of check their motives in that. If you're upset about a new guy coming in hunting, or you're at your favorite public land duck hole and this guy pulls up,
Don't know jack.
don't know nothing, and you're, it's easy to want to be ugly to. Man, you should be happy that guy's there, and that we're not building a generation of. I ain't gonna get political.
You don't want to get in there.
I don't want to get political here, but you're not building
Democrats.
you're not building a generation of telephone sitters and
Well,
Nintendo
people that
players.
are sufficient on everybody else. You want to
'Cause-
be sufficient on yourself.
Because your Second Amendment rights are obviously very much under attack right now. So you need as many like-minded people that want guns as you can get right now. And I won't get any more political than
And
that.
that's something you talk about, self-preservation and hunting for food and something like stuff like that. And we're all very fortunate. We don't have to hunt for food, but we do enjoy cooking and
Oh
eating.
man,
Heck
The
yeah.
it's
game
my
we
son's
kill.
favorite meal.
I was
Yeah.
that's where I was going with that. Is Jackson, whatever we kill, he wants to eat it that night.
Yeah,
That night, that morning, he went goose hunting with us. Sunday supper's a big deal at my house. What are we gonna have for Sunday supper? And my wife's not a hunter, but she will, she'll eat deer meat. She's not real wild about duck or anything. Deer meat's about as far as she goes with it.
Yeah.
Usually she'll try it. She'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. Like she'll you, oh yeah, baby, that's good. But
She ain't
she's
going back
being
for
nice.
seconds.
Yeah,
she's
she's
going
being
back.
nice.
And so we come in, and that's the first thing Jackson said.
and when
the
I
other
tell you
morning,
his son is obsessed with him, I've only seen him and his son
Oh, I
together
was
once.
hunting with him that morning.
Hey, I saw this kid run from 100 yards as fast as he could. Like I didn't know what was going
That's
on.
my
I didn't
little
know.
mini.
I didn't
That's
know if he had to go
good.
to the bathroom. I didn't
Yeah,
know what it
the
was. He
bathroom,
got
he
close to his
acts
daddy,
like
just
me.
jumped and caught
Good
him.
deal.
I think
Yeah.
that's a cool deal.
I love seeing that.
He,
I love it.
We took him goose hunting the other morning. We're sitting by the first goose we killed. First thing he says, Dad, what do those geese taste like?
You
I
gonna
said,
find out.
I said, well, buddy, we'll cook some tonight. So, we get home.
He reached over to hit me. He said,
We get home.
Uncle Hunter, can I touch it?
Yeah, he wants to
Come on.
touch it. So him and Hunter over there having a science project.
Yeah.
And so we get home, and Brittany's asking, how was it? Like, oh, it was fun. I loved it. Absolutely, it was great. We got this, with that. He said, Mom, guess what's for Sunday supper? And she was like, oh, what? She said, what's Sunday? We're excited. What we're gonna cook for Sunday supper? He said, we got some wild goose we finna. He said, all we gotta do is get the feathers off of them.
He come to me one day. He
She
said,
was like,
he said,
oh, I don't know about that.
yeah, he said, we're going to kill a buck deer so Mama can throw it in the
Throw it in
pan.
the
That's it. Right there. Don't get much better than fried deer meat and speckle
Dude,
belly.
I'm
It's
telling
pretty
you,
good.
That's right.
like my son, I got this mule deer in the ice chest. He's like, Dad, when you gonna make mule deer jerky? Like
Yeah.
he's got in his mind, that's what I'm making with
That
it.
sounds
Have y'all
pretty-
cooked
sounds
any of the
good.
mule deer meat?
No, I ain't yet, man. I'm telling you, I've heard horror stories. I'm gonna try.
I ate some. Was in Wyoming on a prairie dog hunt, and at the main guy's house, we had a big supper that first night, and they had cooked some mule deer roast. And I don't know if it was just northern folk cooking or if it
That's a
wasn't
little
that
different,
good.
too.
It wasn't that good.
It
But
smelled when I skinned him. No joke. When I skinned him, it smelled like sage.
Well, that's what my guy said. I said, man, how's it taste? And he goes, you ever had whitetail? And I said, yeah, I eat whitetail all the time. He goes, stick to whitetail. he said it tastes like whitetail's been eating sage his whole life, which is what they do.
But
But-
them folks don't know nothing about cutting up no
Oh,
garlic and onions
Yeah,
and
no,
Tony
I'm-
Sastries and all
Hey,
that good stuff.
I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have a hard time making me scared. Of it.
Louisiana boy can make
I'll
it
eat
cook
just
whatever.
about-
Yeah.
I'll eat-
We
I'm
can eat
afraid to
snow
eat
goose,
whatever.
which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I made snow goose jerky, and it was actually
I
pretty.
made
dang-
fajitas out of snow goose before, ain't nobody knew the difference.
I can't tell you how many spoonbills I've ate.
Oh, 100%. We ain't even gonna get on that. That's gonna be an hour in
Yeah,
itself.
let's leave that
promise
one
you.
alone.
One,
can't
Probably
be
my
worse
favorite
than
dog out there. And
Just
ain't
a bigger
nobody-
target. You can hit
You
that.
cut them up, you cook them. Ain't
Oh, yeah,
nobody
ain't
telling
nobody
me.
gonna
I ain't
know.
listening to that.
Now, I tell you, us rednecks eat a lot more than the western northern people do, but you get a
That's
little
why they can
farther,
walk up
you
down the
get-
mountains.
Oh,
We
that's right.
can't.
That's right.
That's right. They ain't eating no rice and gravy.
Hey,
last
if
night.
they had good cooking up there like we do here, they'd look like us.
That's right.
But then it's not just the rice gravy, then it's the
But,
biscuits,
you know,
cornbread, all that. They don't eat like that.
Talking about the ducks, we in what we'll eat, coon asses. And I got a lot of coon
That's a
ass
total
buddies.
another level now.
I got a lot of coon ass buddies, love them to death, man. He can cook. Lloyd Landry and them were up for
Yeah.
the podcast, several months back. But some other buddies of mine from down around
Is that the
Thibodeau.
technological term for him?
What?
Okay, so you may have to explain coon ass. It's a little.
Cajun. Anybody
South
listening-
of IT.
I think anybody listening to this podcast knows what coon ass is. So some buddies of mine down around Thibodeau, they come up duck hunting, and the farm's just loaded with blackjacks, and we kill these blackjacks, and they're like, they're just so pumped about it. And they're like, you gonna cook these now? I'm like, man, won't y'all just, y'all can clean them blackjacks, take them home. And a blackjack's redneck term for a ringneck, for anybody that don't know that.
Scott.
Scalp, ringneck, blackjack's what we call. And I was like, man, won't y'all, I got a vacuum sealer and all in there. Y'all put them blackjacks on my shop, carry them home with y'all. And they're like, no, man, we're going to cook those. I'm like, man, look, we're cooking ribs, and we got sausage and wild rice and all kinds of stuff we're cooking. Like, we ain't no point in cooking them blackjacks. Bro, we got to cook these blackjacks. Got to cook these. I'm like, all right, whatever. Y'all clean them, I'll cook them. So I grill them up, the old standard jalapeno cream cheese, bacon, wrap them up.
Try to
put 'em
hide
on
it
the
as much as
grill.
you can.
Yes. Well, about 10:30 that night, I drank just enough Miller Lite to try me one. And they're tearing it up. Oh man, that
Wearing it out.
ducks are so good, so good. So finally, like I said, just after that Miller Lite, just got my courage up enough. Now we're gonna try one. And it was just as bad as I thought it was. And that was my last blackjack cooking.
Hey,
but
them suckers swear by coots. Like, one of the
You
guys...
ain't gonna
just-
catch me. I ain't gonna do that.
they
I'm
swear by the
telling you,
cormorants too.
I talked to one. Now, you
I ain't
catching
do
no
it.
cormorant, that ain't happening.
I've heard
But I'm
guys.
telling you, like, there was a guy the other day told me his daddy would give you a limit of teal to trade you
No
for a
way.
limit of coot.
No way.
I said,
Teal's
that's
some
I
of the
mean, that's
finest
a-
eating there is.
I
The
said,
the
I said,
best.
he needs to go get checked. I said,
He does.
He's gonna get chicks. He's got
I've
something
been
going,
invited.
going on in there after eating them
I've
things.
been invited by those guys before they have an annual coot shoot on Wax Lake, and like they're out there with Go Devils and Pro Drives
Running 'em
and bay boats and all kind of stuff, and they all got hunter's orange on.
Gosh, almighty damn.
People get shot. It's kind of like going
I'm
deer
out.
hunting with Devin. It's a lot of.
I'm telling you, I was about to say, this almost sounded like a party.
Sounds pretty
I'll
good.
send my invitation to you next time.
Yeah, run that thing down to my house.
But I do want to here to wrap this one up. We are getting close to duck season. We do want to talk about we got a duck report coming up that Simmons. They've done that. Man, I remember when I was little. I just remember watching
Bill
Jeff
Nye
get on
was
there
good.
and
Oh, yeah.
just kind of just knowing what's the duck, not just where he's hunting, but he'll find out other groups too, and we're all going to be a part of that this year and to help out with that because it's tough. It means just about every day, and we all got families, we all got kids, we all like to deer hunt too. That's the thing. We all love deer hunt too, but we are going to try to bring to you what's going on in the area and just kind of give you a report on what we see out there. And it won't just be what we're doing every morning, but it'll be from other guys too in the area. So
Yeah, and
Simmons
being
is
in
going
here,
to kick
we
that
get
back
Kinda
up.
up and down the flyway.
We got a pretty good network.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of guys come in here after they hunt and they come in here to get more shells or just to eat lunch and talk about what they're killing, what they're seeing, what are they in the woods, they in the fields.
It really helps. I mean, figuring out what's going on. 'Cause, I mean, you got a plan, and if you know what everybody else is doing, you got a little better
I just
idea.
like to know somebody's killing. I don't have to be.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Like, 'cause I
Somebody's
know
killing
somebody's
somebody.
killing. I'm like, tomorrow might be my day.
That's right. They're
You're right.
smashing them in Arkansas. They're coming, baby. They're
Yeah.
We
coming.
like to know
Hey,
that.
look, I'm
But no, that's going to be on KTVE on 6 o'clock
6
news.
o'clock news, that's right.
Monday through Friday. And on Mondays, it's going to be a little bit longer. We'll give you a report from Saturday and Sunday, too, and if who hunts or
We'll have it posted.
what
on
may
the
go
website,
there. And then,
too.
of course, it'll go to the website, like Hunter said. But that's just going to be something different that Simmons is offering. I think we'll have several sponsors with that as well that are participating in that.
I
So,
signed you up to sponsor that. You owe us. I got you a bill in the mail.
Yeah.
Singleton game call.
We got to pay that bill first, right? We got to pay our bill first.
it ain't no net 30, huh? No
ain't
cent
net
60.
30 on that. But that's fine.
But we will tell you, I know Hunter and Caleb mentioned, and I just like to say it too, that seriously though, we got so many deer hunters in this area, and so many duck hunters too. I'm telling you, ammo, bullets, guns. I mean, they don't have to brag about it, but I'll say it, and I know Devin will too. You can look anywhere you want, but you ain't gonna find nothing better than
I
what
can
we got
still
right
come
here at home.
and get what I need, what I shoot, or y'all's got a finger on the pulse good enough to find it.
And I will tell you this though, it is getting low, and we're running up on Thanksgiving,
it's been
and then
tough.
we're gonna run up on Christmas.
And it's gonna be
Rifle
bad.
ammo. If you need any rifle ammo, you better get here as fast as you can get here. And I'm not saying that they're gonna get more in, but I can't tell you when. They can't tell you. At
And
this
we
point.
Can't tell you when or what it is. That's the tough thing right now. Is I know a lot of people like to stick with what they've shot, but right now getting something that goes bang when you squeeze the triggers, it's a plus. And we've been able to keep it in stock. Limiting some quantities just so that everybody can get some.
Right.
We'll let you get enough, but let everybody else get some too.
Well, I'll tell you this: I visit stores all over the South, and I'll let Hunter finish this up. But be fortunate, especially pistol ammo, rifle ammo. I've gone in 3 different stores in South Louisiana and Central Louisiana last week. They got one box per gun, one box. Some of them don't even let you buy a box of ammo unless you buy a gun.
Yeah.
And Simmons is over here letting you buy pistol and AR stuff. 4 boxes a piece. Some of them are more than that. It's more rounds, and I'll let him
Depends
tell you
what
that.
it is, yeah. But it's and something I want to go out to all the duck hunters and give them a little heads up. We get I've talked to all these manufacturers, and I know what's coming, and I got a little bit, like you said, we got a pulse on what's going on across the country, and Louisiana's always last ones to get that push, and I can tell you that shotgun shells are next. You go into a store, it looks like it got them, but these companies, we see it, they're running out of shotgun shells now, which they never do. They don't run out until February. When everybody's done.
When they're done making them.
Well, all the
Usually have
shells,
carryover.
all the shells are in the stores now, and that's so. I'm not trying to play a little fear tactic here, but I'm telling you, if you haven't got your shells
Well, if you
already,
want proof of it, come look and go to any store you want.
Yeah.
Then come here and see how much. This is the most ammo of
and
any place I know in the country.
We usually
Look at
have a
rifle
ton, and
ammo
we got a
stuff.
ton, but it's shotgun shells are next.
I went to a
People
big
fight
box store. What's day? Thursday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was in another big box store, huge store, and man, when I tell you, like their used gun racks are normally completely full. They were absolutely empty.
Yeah.
Like they were selling. They had more single boxes of shotgun shells than they did cases, and I've gone in this store a bunch of times, and they usually got just stacks of cases like y'all do here. They don't. They got single boxes. There is no rifle ammo. There's nothing. So you do need to be. What we're saying is be
conscious of
proactive.
it, yeah.
Be proactive.
We're not saying come in here and buy 10 cases, but
No.
if you got one and you think you may shoot it, you may want to come in and buy another one or two.
Yeah. Because
And
you don't
not-
want to run up on a lot of people buy it, and we've seen the trend. Used to everybody buy the shotgun shells for a year now, which is a good way to be. They come in and they buy what they need for the weekend.
And we're not, and I think they'll vouch for this. We're not trying to hard sell you or soft sell you with this.
just
These
telling
two
you.
boys down at this table are turning people. It's not a good feeling when all your life you prided yourself on inventory and you turning people away for rifle ammo that people go hunt with every weekend.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to do the same thing for shotgun if things continue. So,
And with it, and well, I won't go there.
but
And for us, it's not about the people say, it's not about the money side of it. I hate to tell somebody they can't go hunt this weekend because they ain't got no ammo.
Exactly.
I hate that.
I didn't think it was going to happen. But now that I look back and I see the calibers, we won't get into that are running low or out completely on several really popular calibers. It's just kind of blows your mind.
I was one being here every day.
You see it
Pulled
all.
around and got caught off guard, and Jackson wants to go duck hunting this weekend. He's got a little 410. We don't have any 410 still shot, and neither does any.
And
of
I'm not even going to ask you, are you
But
going to
so,
get it in? Who knows?
Second best
Who
sporting
knows?
goods store he knows.
My good friend Devin Singleton here brought me a $80 box of TSS
Good
turkey legs.
God.
And that's what we're gonna shoot at.
Yeah.
Hey, he's gonna
I'm
fire
telling
up.
We're gonna be legal.
He's gonna kill a
We're
goose
gonna-
from 180 yards
if,
away.
If they ain't got it, it's a good chance I do.
That's right.
Hey, you get some phone calls, I bet.
But we do want to thank y'all for listening. And I know Thanksgiving's coming up. We're about to get in the heat of hunting season. We're going to try to do several more and just fill you in. Not only what's going on in northeast Louisiana, but kind of all over. But really, we all take pride in this area too. So we'll try to keep you up with deer stuff too, duck stuff, and all of it. But
All that. And as always, guys, if you hadn't subscribed to the YouTube channel, Simmons Sporting Goods, All Things Hunting, you can You can watch all the video of all the podcasts along with some great instructional videos, promos, stuff like that.
Free gift cards, different things along
That
those
sort
lines.
of thing. And then if you're not following us on social media, Simmons Sporting Goods on Instagram and Facebook, Singleton Game Calls on Instagram
And Facebook.
and,
I
face-
did
and
Facebook.
Facebook,
Yep.
and then All Things Hunting on Instagram and Facebook as well, and SimmonSportingGoods.com. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch y'all next time.
Thank you.
Y'all.